Hey guys, and yeah, as you can see, it looks as though this part is gonna be our swan song. Yep, last month did not end well, as you can see. We're gonna go over what happened over the last month, and you know what? Maybe this is a good thing, obviously I started the series in the beta. It was meant to be kind of just a thing to look at the new, obviously version of the game. And I think we learned quite a lot. We had 2 great seasons of success, and then everything kind of fell apart in the 3rd season. Still not completely sure why. Yeah, it still bewilders me, the difference of those 2 seasons before to this season. But you know what? You gotta live and learn. We gotta move on. Obviously, this means in the future we may see a new series in FM18. I'm going to try and finish off all my series I think I've got at the moment, so then we can focus on one series in Football Manager, and so that way it gets out as quickly as possible, rather than doing a couple or 3 as I've been doing at the moment, and then having to kind of like spread out the parts. It takes longer to do it then, so we're going to concentrate just on one until we get all of them finished, and then we'll start a new one, probably in a lower league or maybe in a foreign league, or trying to build our way up, have our own little career, rather than starting the Premier League like with Swansea. But we learnt a lot. I also learnt about how maybe to do better when it comes to the parts. So I'm probably going to actually show more of the season. So show a bit more of the general stuff going on that I do in the season, rather than just do the first match every month. Every part will have maybe, 2 matches, but it'll just be key highlights instead. And maybe we'll show, every, do 2 episodes, then miss the next 2 matches and do the next 2 matches, something like that. Still keeping it about 10 parts per season, but we'll probably change it that slightly in the future. So I've definitely learned a lot, and there's definitely things I want to change for a future series, so I guess in a way it's kind of good in that regard. But let's have a look what actually happened. 5th and 6th. That is just unthinkable for Swansea. Really, and I can't believe it. It had to end like this. Let's see what happened during our last few matches. Look at the fixtures. So I'll go through you what exactly happened. So of course last time you saw us play Arsenal and we lost. Not a good game, but to be expected. Then we played Man United in the next match, and we lost against Man United, which again is to be, and it's only 1-0. It's to be expected that we would lose 1-0 to Man United, so it wasn't really a big deal to me. And we got a player sent off us at the very end. Didn't really seem to be a big thing. But after that match, the board called me in for a meeting, and they told me that I had to get 10 points in 5 games. So yeah, that's obviously quite difficult. It means you have to win at least 3 of those games and draw 1. So you can only lose 1 game in 5 matches. That's quite difficult when you've got a team in our type of form. So I wasn't very happy, but it definitely was doable. We had Crystal Palace, Watford, Sunderland, Birmingham next, and then Chelsea. If we just lose to Chelsea, get the points against the other teams, we could still keep our job. But it was either that or just leave. So I thought, let's give it a try. I have to try and get this 10 points. I have to believe that we can do it. And then we also obviously had Inter Milan in the Europa League Cup. We drew with them 1-1. We needed a draw to go through. If Inter beat us, they would go through instead of us. Bezadin scored. He has been great in Europe. He scored 12 goals in Europe, but he just doesn't score in the Premier League. Oliver Giroud scored against us straight away after, though. We managed to keep things. We didn't let them score again, and we actually got through. So we got through to the knockout stages of the Europa League, and we got drawn against, I'm trying to remember, who did we get drawn against? I can just look on this. Celtic. We got drawn against Celtic. Now, Celtic, obviously, not a bad team. They're normally going to win the Scottish League most of the time. They got some good players, of course. But I think in our save right now, a few of their really good players have been sold. So I think we could beat Celtic. So I was quite happy with that draw. Compared to previously some of our draws in Europa League, that was not too bad. I felt they were one we could beat. So I was quite in good moods after the Inter game. I was thinking, yes, we can play Celtic, get to the next round, hopefully try and get to the quarterfinal. Maybe this is the sign of good things to come. Then we played Crystal Palace, and we drew 1-1. We got a penalty. They scored it very early on, but we just couldn't get a second goal. So having a draw meant we couldn't draw another game. Or, well, we couldn't draw and lose another game. So that put a lot of pressure on us. So I was not happy with that performance. After that, we came up against Watford, and we beat them 2-0. Harry Maguire scored, Goodmanson scored, and I was starting to feel like, okay, maybe we're getting things going. Maybe this is a sign. Then we played Sunderland, and this was the vital match. We really had to win this game. Really, we did. And we lost 3-0. Not good enough. They scored 3 goals, spread out throughout the match. I don't know what happened. We just couldn't seem to take anything from the match. And I'll tell you what, this is when Pickford came back. So I feel like I'm going to put a lot of the blame on Pickford. I think Pickford is terrible. I think in real life he's overhyped. And now I think in the game he's also overhyped. So that was my fault with not going my instincts. Because before that we played Watford, 2-0. Who was it? Fab was in goal. Oh, the match before that only let 1 in goal? Fab was in goal. The match against Inter that ended 1-1, we stopped them from scoring another goal so they could go through. Fab was in goal. Then against Man United. Oh, who was in goal? Fab was in goal. He let in 1 goal. But against Arsenal, how many goals were let in? 4 goals. Oh, Fab was in goal. Okay, there's this... But yes, you know what I mean? The last 2 seasons, Fabianski was incredible. Pickford's come in. I just feel like that's the only thing I've been disappointed with, really, overall. Apart from Dembele getting injured. But, I mean, I can point blame and stuff. I'm still going to point blame at the patch. I think the patch, did some things to maybe the system, and it meant that the system I'd got used to playing with Swansea just didn't work anymore. And I couldn't get it to work after. Birmingham, then, we drew, and that was it. We had to beat this team after the loss against Sunderland and the draw against Crystal Palace. 0-0. Look at that. We were the dominant team. We should have won, but lack of goals, and I got fired before even the Chelsea game. Sad state of affairs. You know what? We had some fun times. I remember this series fondly, just because it's the first save I did in FM18, really, and it was some really good times. We got Jack Wilshere into Swansea. That was a great signing. Kabaye, I think, was also a great free signing for us. Dembele, I think, was a coup for Swansea, to be honest, because he can be an incredible player in the future. Had some down points, Diop getting injured, Fabianski's incredible performances. And of course, I'm sad we won't get to see the future of Rodrigo. I really think he can be a great player. So he's one to keep an eye on if he comes out from your scouts. Also with a few young players I was looking forward to seeing, grow up, Brian Amos. He could have been a pretty good striker. He's only 16, and look at this. If you can just get his mentals up a bit, the lower mentals, he could be incredible. Good heading still, strength, jumping reach is pretty good. He could be such a good striker, and he's only 16, and who was the other one? It was Morris, wasn't it? Where's Morris? Alex Morris was my other one. Our midfield at 17 years old. He's just getting better and better all the time. Great physicals there. He's got great potential in his mental attributes as well. Really looking forward to what these two would go. He's got 12 under 21 caps already, and he's 17. But we'll never know. We'll never know now. F you, FM. F you. You ruined my hopes and dreams, but yeah. That's how things go sometimes in football. I mean, we've seen it so many times, Mourinho winning the league with Chelsea, then gets fired the next season after having a very disappointing season. Same with Ranieri at Leicester. Except for mine, I didn't get to win the league, so I feel kind of sad. But this does mean, new seasons, new series for the future. And I've been sacked. So you get to see me get sacked. And my glum and sad... Well, you don't get to see my glum and sad expression. You just get to hear my glum and sound voice. But yes, Love to know what you guys think about the series. What do you think I can do to improve future series in the future? Like I say, I want to try and change the format slightly. But I'd love to know what you guys think. I've been NG Paradox, and I guess that's all there is really to say here right now. I mean, I better go to the job center, you know, find a new job. There's quite a few jobs here. We're not going to continue this series. Like I say, this was just to test out FM18. I was meant to stay with Swansea as long as possible. I was never going to leave it, just because Swansea's my favourite club. I support them, so I wasn't going to leave them anyway. The next one, there'll be like a proper career. We're going to start like low down somewhere and try and make our way to the top. Maybe changing clubs, you know. We'll see how things go. I like the idea. We tried to do it with Bath City in FM17, and I just ended up staying at Bath City forever because we just enjoyed it so much, and things just went really well. That could happen again, possibly, but I'm going to treat it as though I'm an actual person, actual manager. You know, sometimes an offer comes that's too tempting for you to be able to pass up. But we'll see. Or maybe money, for example. I'm going to take that into consideration as well. So I'm going to try and play it like a more real-life kind of thing. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I've been NG. Goodbye, Swansea. We knew you well. Thank you for the good times.